Today I wanted to show you in a bit more detail the original Royal Observer Corps fixed survey meter. Now this unit was introduced in the late 50s to both the underground monitoring posts and the group headquarters, and in a way it replaced the Radiax survey meter, the sort of metal handheld one. And it was more the case of once they went underground, they would have required a fixed unit that had an external probe. So they approached the Evo company, and Evo were famous during the Second World War for making a lot of valves and electronic equipment for the RAF. The unit itself was used from then right up until the mid-80s when it was replaced with the PDR M82F by Plessey. Now, the unit is pretty big and bulky. You can see it's quite a hefty bit of kit. Measures in rontgens per hour, and it measures up to 500 rontgens, so it goes to a very, very high scale. And then to do higher readings than that, you would have the telescopic rod that went up the fixed survey meter pipe in the underground monitoring posts. That rod was brought down a certain distance, and then you would measure, and then you would multiply the 500 obviously by the distance the probe was brought down to get a shielded reading. Now I have this running off a 1.5 volt battery just to get the first LT. As you can see down here it says LT in the battery test. LT is your first battery. This ran on 3 batteries, so it ran on a 1.4 volt battery and then 2 10.7 volt batteries. What was quite interesting about those batteries is, in fact I have 2 of them here, I'll take them out. The 10.7 volt batteries were made by a company called Mallory Batteries in England, and eventually they got bought over by Duracell. These batteries were taken out of production in the 1970s, and obviously they needed these exact batteries to power this unit and other Radiac instruments. So the Royal Observer Corps, Ministry of Defence or whatever, used to put in an order every year for these batteries, a special one-off order, just so that Mallory Batteries would keep producing them. So these batteries are very, very rare, and they're quite special as well, which I'll show you in a second once we get into it. But yeah, if I turn on the battery knob here, you'll see I'm able to get it to pass the battery test, which was quite nice. So it comes with 2 battery packs in the kit. You've got the battery pack that you would use for your, you would have set up the 2 battery packs so that one was on the unit at all times working, and then as you notice the battery may be starting to go flat, you would have another set that you could immediately swap on. So that's the battery box, little Bakelite box, and then it's got your connector at the bottom, and then that corresponds there, so it goes onto these 2 metal posts and then clicks on into place. But the other battery box. So what's interesting about the Mallory batteries as well is that, as well as having a positive pin here and a negative pin here, they also have a positive pin at the side. So you'll see here on this far connector here, it has another positive connector. So when you put that battery in, you're actually getting a positive, negative, and another positive. So you can see there that unit ran on, it needed quite high power, obviously 2 22.7 volt batteries and then a 1.4 volt battery as well. So if I ever get my hand, these batteries unfortunately are flat, but if I was ever to get a bench power supply, I should be able to get this fully powered up, and I'll see if this unit actually does anything. Obviously I'm not going to have anything that that'll, well, I might be able to, down here it does say minus 1, minus 5 and 1, so I might be able to get it, maybe. But yeah, it'd be quite nice if I was able to do something with it. And then there's the probe. In fact, what I'll do is I'll move this over to one side just so that you can see the probe a bit better. So there's the original probe for the unit with the massive connector. And what's quite interesting about this is this bottom piece with the rubber. When the Plessey PDR M82F was introduced, they actually removed this bottom piece and they attached that onto the probe from the Plessey unit. And then as well as that, we have the coaxial cable. Really, really thick coaxial cable. You can see it's almost half the thickness of my thumb there. And big connector to screw onto the bottom of the probe, and then that would have fed down the FSM pipe down onto the desk in the Royal Observer Corps post, and that would have let them take their readings from underground, from 15 feet underground. But yeah, this is a very rare piece of equipment. I think in the UK, in collections, there's maybe 20 of them. There are not many of these out there. If one of these came up on eBay in its wooden flight case, a complete kit, you're probably looking at about £1,000, maybe slightly more depending on condition. Mine is pristine. I've got all the cables, I've got all the spare parts, screws, things like that there. I've got all the covers, I've got both battery packs, I've got a set of the original batteries. So yeah, this is a very rare unit, and I'm very lucky to have one. But listen, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.